Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. And of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Oh boy! Tomorrow's going to be a doozy of a day because at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be live for 24 hours. That's right. Friendo Fest 24 is officially upon us. We will be live. We will be debuting the new fall line of our garments at friendomerch.com. One of those shirts is already live. The live crowd here on Twitch got first dibs on it. So we're going to be doing that. But beyond that, we're going to be playing video games, Rocket League, Fall Guys, some GTA 5 probably. What am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing.
We're gonna watch Money in the Bank 2011. Do a recap of it afterwards. We're gonna watch have a watch party of Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan,
an Unsolved Mysteries watch party.
Unsolved Mysteries, and probably more. Let's see if either of us make it through the entire 24 hours without taking a nap.
So just come on by, follow us at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, and come by and root us on or something, because probably around the 2-3 o'clock in the morning time, I'm going to be really starting to fade.
Same.
We'll see how that goes. Anyways, we need to find out if somebody ever put up a compilation of Richard Dawson groping people on Family Feud. That's been Lacey and I's big thing that we've been watching late at night these days, Family Feud on the Pluto TV Buzzer channel. Anyways, Smackdown happened tonight. I kind of half-heartedly was into Smackdown. I didn't even take Steve notes because I'm so trying to prepare mentally, emotionally, physically for tomorrow. Everything's up. I'm just focused on that. I had a couple errands to run during Smackdown, so I took my phone with me. I absorbed it all. I'm just going to go off your notes.
Ugh.
If you want to know what my star ratings are for any of those matches, I'll happily tell you.
All right.
But we'll get into that in a bit. I guess the biggest thing to come out of Smackdown was, Sasha showed up and got her ass beat again by Bayley.
Yeah, that. We got more. I mean, I think they're handling this Roman Jey Uso stuff pretty well. I think Jey Uso picking up the pin in the main event tonight is going to add a lot of fuel to the fire within Roman to absolutely destroy Jey Uso. Now, we've said basically ad nauseum, this has to be a level of violence previously unseen by the hands of Roman Reigns. After this, after the death glare that Roman was shooting towards Jey Uso, he's basically shooting eye lasers at him, man. After all that, this has to be some serious levels of violence.
Yeah.
This has to be uncomfortable, and it has to be protracted. Sure, that it's going to feel like a missed story beat.
I get the feeling, though, I'll be honest with you, lately I feel like you've had a real bloodlust. And I get the feeling that no matter how bad it is, I feel like you're preparing to undersell it.
This is not a bloodlust fight. This is an important story beat that we all see coming. And if they underdeliver, it's not going to have the impact that it needs to have.
Vince needs to greenlight some blood, man.
Yes. Yeah. This needs to be. I mean, I guess there's kind of an analogy in that what Brock did to Cena at SummerSlam a few years back, where it was like 16 minutes of Brock just beating the hell out of him. There's that. However, the thing about that was so shocking was not just the level of violence. It was no one had ever manhandled John Cena like that. Jey Uso, I like him a lot. He's great. He's not the star of the caliber of John Cena.
He's just a regular dude.
So if Roman Reigns goes out there and spears him for 15 straight minutes, point gets across, but it's not the most effective way to do it.
Oh, yeah. But here's the thing, though. I mean, they're family. Like,
Yeah,
I
but here's the
think 15 straight minutes of, I think that like Roman completely doing a John Cena would get the point across.
It would get the point across, but I don't think it's the most effective way of getting the point across.
All right.
Like, he needs to go through barricades. He needs to bleed. He needs to go through the announce table. It has to be gratuitous. It has to be over the top. It has to be just an obscene amount of pro wrestling violence doled out to Jey Uso to really hammer home the point that Roman is a really bad dude right now.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's setting up. Every time, like just last week, Jey raises Roman's hands, and Roman gave Jey the "How dare you touch me" look, you know, and how dare you look at my belt.
Boy,
he gets the pin tonight. And at first, while Jey's in the ring, he's all happy and laughing and hugging him and stuff. As soon as he leaves, man,
that look on his face was great.
He wanted to rip Jey's arms off and beat him with them.
Dude, that look was really
it was really good.
You know what's funny? I don't know if it's the new teeth or what. And I know that there was a weird audio, and I've noticed it before, even at the Performance Center. But like, there's a weird, like, very very low key echo of
there was the
some
whole show,
sort.
the whole show. Today.
I've noticed that in certain segments at the Performance Center before when they're backstage interviews.
There's some audio issues that I don't know how they're missing.
And I don't know if it's that or if it's a teeth or if it's a combination, but Roman's voice sounds kind of different.
I think he's talking a little deeper.
He's doing something different, isn't he? Mm-hmm. I agree, dude. I think it needs to be uncomfortable. Somebody here mentioned Lesnar Orton. That's a really good example right there because it was just like opening up. You know, it was trying to get into Orton's literal skull, and it was so it needs to be an uncomfortable level of violence. We could both agree with that for sure.
Yes, it definitely needs to be.
Is this how you would have done Sasha coming back, dude?
No, I wouldn't have brought her back till after Clash of Champions.
Let's say they said, okay, she's a big ratings draw. She has to come back tonight. Even if that was if that was the mandate, this shouldn't have been the way. Then
what you do if you have to have the performance, I get the having the Performance Center because as she said, that's as she put it, that's the place that her and Bayley built, you know. Mm-hmm. And the Performance Center has played a part of their story throughout the summer. So if you say no, you have to have Sasha on TV because we need to advertise that she's going to make an appearance on the show because she's a ratings draw. All right. As soon as Michael Cole asks that first question, right as she opens her mouth, that's when Bayley attacks her. I don't want to hear I don't need to hear Sasha go on. Her performance was fine. I thought it was good. But it was in a lot of ways the dialogue was kind of what you'd expect. Mm-hmm. You know, and I kind of feel like the first we should really hear from Sasha, after now 2 beatdowns from Bayley, is her getting in the ring and beating up on Bayley.
Yeah.
Let actions speak, not words.
I like the promo. I was fine with it. I thought that there definitely should have been more time. I just think that the staging should have been a little bit different. It's hard to... I understand what they're trying to do. Like, this is supposed to be a turn. I thought the performance was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did fine. She did good.
I just don't know. I don't know. Something about it felt off.
It felt too soon, and it felt... I mean, she didn't do the
neck brace is cheesy. I understand that it's supposed to be effective, but it always looks like a prop.
I know, because it is. She didn't go full-on babyface per se in her promo, but she hit the beats that you would expect.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there wasn't like, maybe it'd been interesting if she said, yeah, Bayley thought I was going to turn on her. I was using her. Yeah, I was. Mm-hmm. You know, maybe if they did something like that.
Yeah.
But they didn't go down that route.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's just get right into it because there was some. Sure. I thought there was some really cool stuff happening tonight. And yeah, there was more on. I mean, speaking of Miz and Morrison, they were up first with the dirt sheet. So they're keeping everybody up to speed. I'm just reading your notes now on what's going down in WWE. They have the dirt. They know all the secrets. And Miz would divulge. You know, he's like, for example, we have the truth behind Bayley's attack. And Morrison's like, oh, and it's so dirty. We're going to reveal the reason why WWE tried to erase Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn from history. And then Morrison said, oh, and it's so dirty. So they kept on doing that stuff. Miz says, but first we're going to talk about the trade of Mandy to Raw. And then Morrison throws to a clip. Miz says, I'm not playing games with Otis. I'm not using my power to get revenge. I'm just trying to help Otis. I sent Mandy away, and now Otis can focus on cashing in because there's so many distractions when you're Mr. Money in the Bank. You always have to be focusing. And Morrison says, or you can just give it to me, which is probably what they're going to do. So Miz says Otis will already get over the trade. And from what he hears, this is messed up. From what he hears, Mandy already has.
And they brought up the fact that Dolph Ziggler is on Raw.
Yeah. That guy, he gets around.
So Otis makes his way down the ring. He tackles Miz, clocks Morrison, then clocks the Miz, tosses Morrison out of the ring, then picks up the director's chairs that were in there for the dirt sheet, tosses those. Tucky shows up as Miz is trying to escape. He tosses Miz back in the ring. Otis does a overhead toss. Then Tucky puts Morrison back in the ring, only for Otis to overhead toss him out of the ring again. And then Otis hits Miz with Caterpillar and then a Vader bomb. Otis leaves, and he's like, nope, not yet. Goes back in. This is after a commercial break, I believe. Goes back after the Miz, and then basically rips his entire suit off of him.
Yeah, he's just got his tighty whities on, which is always a hilarious sight gag. There's that commercial. I don't even know what it's for. But, like, it's supposed to be, a hapless, silly husband who doesn't realize there are guests coming over because he thought they were going to do a Zoom call, and he shows up and he's wearing tighty whities. It's a tired trope, but, man, tighty whities are hilarious.
So next we see Miz and Morrison backstage. Morrison's like, Otis, he's like the Incredible Hulk. He gets more powerful when he gets angry. I don't think your plan is working, Miz.
Yeah.
And Miz goes, no, it's all part of the plan. Kayla walks in for an interview and asks Miz if he regrets angering Otis. Just then, Miz picks up his phone. He asks the person on the other end if that was enough, and that apparently it was, because he gives Morrison a thumbs up.
So we find out more about that a little bit later, but before that we had GRAN METALIK versus CESARO. Before that, though, we had a Lucha House Party promo. Lindsay and Kalisto both offering up advice to GRAN METALIK. Of course, still not entirely sure who is leader, who he should be listening to. There's also a Cesaro Nakamura promo. I think I was too busy figuring out which cookie I was going to get. The Oreo.
It was pretty short.
Or the what's the chocolate chip cookie that I like?
Chips Ahoy.
Yeah, Chips Ahoy.
Chewy Chips Ahoy.
One
right?
with the double stuff. Yeah.
All right.
I love the Chewy Chips Ahoy.
I'm not there to take your chocolate chip cookies from you, so what do I care?
Exactly. What do you care? Anyways,
this match is all about Kalisto and Lindsay getting very involved and giving GRAN METALIK advice during the match. At one point, they're sitting on the floor, basically boxing each other out to have their voices heard. Later on, after METALIK has the upper hand, they both get on the apron, and then one of them shouting at METALIK to do a springboard. I assume the other one is giving him contrary advice. And then it just ends up, METALIK goes for a moonsault. Cesaro gets his feet up, hits a neutralizer to get the win. That ring post Rana was great though from METALIK. That was cool.
Yeah, dude, I'm happy these guys are in it. I mean, it's a bunch of nothing because Lucha House Party, they're not going to win titles, but like,
no, they're falling apart basically.
This is great to see Cesaro get to mix it up with guys like GRAN METALIK and Lindsay Dorado every week. It's kind of cool. After this, this was great. Jey Uso had an interview. He's asked what him and Roman's chemistry is like. And he's like, you know what? Last week, Paul Heyman told me last week it was miscommunication. So he's going to trust Roman's going to have my back just like we were kids. I just love that he corrected himself because he's like, you know what Roman told me? He was like, well, actually, it's Paul Heyman who told me. So obviously, the guy who's just manipulating the whole situation.
Yeah.
And his dumb bastard doesn't know what's going on, man.
I know. So he says, come Clash. One of them is leaving Universal Champion. And he says, Roman's been throwing his weight around since they were little, but they're not little anymore. He's like, you know what? That's from a week from Sunday at Clash. Tonight, we got this match. We're going to go out there and win. What the hell was this next segment?
It was the active burial of Matthew Riddle, Larson.
It was. This is like face the facts level bad.
That's a great comparison, and that's totally what it is.
So what it was is a segment called Know Your Bro, or it's Matt Riddle saying bro with various inflections. Happy, angry, sad, afraid. It was all awful. Awful.
I don't know. If I'll put it this way. If his outside the WWE situation wasn't happening, because that's been happening, he's like going to court now with the woman who made allegations against him. If that wasn't happening, I would be shocked. Because that stuff is happening, that's the only thing I can think of. That is the reason for this.
Because that stuff is happening, if they didn't want to give him anything, just keep him off TV.
I would have thought that too. I mean, do you think this just would have been they're just full steam ahead on whatever their plans were for Matt Riddle in the first place?
I don't know.
Because this is the worst thing. This is horrible. Like last week, he was just backstage at a party.
Yeah, it's bad.
I mean, he should be, and I know he might not have, like, they could have written him in to the Intercontinental thing. You got two heels, you could put two faces in there. He's a natural fit with those guys. Like, you've got three guys who have been there for a while. Matt Hardy is like a super legacy guy. The other two are a bit more recent, but Matt Riddle, being a brand new guy, would fit perfectly in that scene. He beat AJ Styles the first night he was on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. This is a bit on the weird side. It's kind of like honestly, it's kind of like the half in, half out stuff that I notice on NXT with another guy who has allegations, in his life, Velveteen Dream. You see him sometimes, but he's not doing anything of note. It's sort of half in, half out. Hey, let's see how this pans out. We'll keep him on TV, but in a really minor role. That's just my pure speculation. I have no idea.
I thought of all that too, because given everything that's happening, you want to try to put the pieces together,
Yeah. All right, before we continue, here's a word from the sponsor of today's episode, NordVPN. Sure, the internet can be good, but can also be kind of a scary place, Larson, full of hackers trying to shoot on your security and pry into your personal data.
But you can protect yourself with NordVPN. NordVPN offers double data encryption and lets you browse the web in private, because NordVPN prevents data logging. In fact, NordVPN has a strict no logs policy. That means they'll never track, collect, or share your data.
NordVPN is compatible with most operating systems, including Windows, Mac OS, Linux, iOS, and Android, and offers 24/7 product support and a 30-day money-back guarantee to ensure your satisfaction.
NordVPN even has a user-friendly Chrome extension and provides unlimited bandwidth on super-fast servers with up to 6 simultaneous connections.
And right now, Going In Raw listeners can get 68% off NordVPN. Only $3.71 per month. Plus, you get an additional month free at nordvpn.com/raw or use coupon code RAW.
After that, we had a moment of bliss with Nikki Cross as the special guest. First, Alexa congratulates Nikki. She gets another title shot against Bayley. Says she's happy for her, but she needs to ask the hard-hitting questions that the WWE Universe wants to know the answers to. What is Nikki's plan of action for this title match? Because she lost to Bayley over and over throughout the summer. And Nikki says, I understand. It's your job. You're a professional. It's going to be different now because there's no Sasha Banks. She doesn't have to worry about Sasha interfering or distracting her. She can just focus on beating Bayley. And then she talks about Bayley beating down Sasha. Says, Bayley, hey, if you want to take cheap shots, will it clash? I'm become new women's champion. And then Nikki says, I have a question for you, Alexa. What's going on? Last week, you hit me with Sister Abigail and then walked off. I thought that aspect, that kind of pretty major story beat between the two of them, was kind of underplayed.
Yeah.
Like there didn't really seem to be any tension when Nikki walked out. They hugged, I thought. It was all very cordial. Like if you had just Sister Abigail'd me last week, I'd be like, and in kayfabe, hadn't talked sense.
Yeah, which is always how it goes.
Yeah, I'd be like, yo, what's the deal?
Yeah.
I mean, because when Bliss threw her mug on the ground, like Nikki was pretty standoffish until she got the apology from Bliss.
There is, I mean, there. Okay, so I see what you're saying. To me, it's not that striking, just because, for one thing, Nikki has a new, very big goal in mind, so she's probably looking ahead to that. And on top of that, they were in a match together. She knows that something's going on with Alexa. Maybe she's just trying to approach this in the best way possible because it's her friend.
Well, I'm not saying she has to be confrontational. I'm just saying it kind of felt like that whole story beat was a little bit undersold.
Yeah, and plus they don't want to spoil all this stuff. Like, you can't just come out and say it, because then there'd be no drama for the television.
Oh, I know. Then when Bliss started to try to kind of explain herself, because she said, I don't know how to explain it. I don't understand it. There's some kind of change. I don't know how to control it. Lacey Evans comes out.
Lacey Evans kind of makes me laugh with her Popeye laugh these days. I don't know why she started doing that, but it's hilarious to me. She goes, ah, 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 ah. I think that stuff's hilarious. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Kira here in chat says Nikki spoke about it last week on Talking Smack, said she blames herself.
See, so Talking Smack's like being the elite or dark.
It's canon now.
Yeah, it's canon. It's good. It's good. So anyways, Lacey interrupts, teases Alexa Bliss, tells Nikki she ought to be thanking Nikki for Bliss walking out of the match, because Bliss leaving threw her off her game. It's the only reason she won. Lacey tells Nikki that Bayley has something she'll never have, a mean streak. Says she's too short, too nice, and she doesn't have a backbone, which is why she'll never beat Bayley. Nikki takes Lacey's handkerchief, blows her nose, throws it at her. That's not appropriate these days. When Lacey bends over to pick it up, Nikki just kicks her. That was great.
That was great.
They brawl until a match is set up.
Yeah, so the match is Lacey versus Nikki. Alexa's on commentary. And then Lacey, in her purse, that of course she brings with her down the ring, she had some hand sanitizer in there before the match really begins. She goes down, puts some on. Nikki drop kicks her. It would come into play later throughout the body of this match, the middle section. Lacey was really working over Nikki's arm. And at one point she goes, gets the hand sanitizer from ringside and squirts it in Nikki's eye. And Michael Cole rightly is like, why isn't this a disqualification? What are you doing, ref? That's a foreign substance that is being put into Nikki Cross's eyes. That's an obvious DQ.
You know what? Michael Cole made me laugh twice tonight. This is one of them. And the other time, I think it was when Otis stripped Miz and Michael Cole started laughing at the tighty whities too. I love it because it's I'm not going to say out of character, but I could see Vince not wanting him to break like that.
When John Cena humiliated Michael Cole after WrestleMania 27, that bit where they had the match and Cena dumped barbecue sauce all over him.
Yeah.
Did Cena strip Cole down to his undies?
That's a possibility. That sounds right.
Or was Michael Cole in his wrestling gear? I don't remember.
I think it might have been the undies. You go ahead and you go on, and I'll look that up. I'll see if there's a picture.
All right, very well. So, anyways, Nikki ends up fighting back, hits a bunch of moves, culminates tornado DDT, neck breaker, gets the win.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, Lacey crawls out of the ring up to commentary, just mentions the Fiend. Alexa goes into her trance, hits Lacey with Sister Abigail.
So he had on like blue, I think these are boxer briefs.
All right.
But he was down to his skivvies, yeah.
His undies, all right.
Yeah.
After that, this was a really good Roman and Jey Uso video package narrated by Paul Heyman. Talked about, the history of their family in professional wrestling. That Roman was essentially born to be champion. How Roman and Jey and Jimmy were close growing up. It was really well done. Really well done.
Yeah, it was really well done. I really liked how he mentioned, he talks a lot about Roman, and then he said, and Jay's done pretty good for himself, too, as a tag champion with help from his brother.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, that was good.
After that, we had that Sasha Banks interview. We got an extensive recap before that. Like you said, it was at the Performance Center. Asked about her injury. She says, well, I'm still here, aren't I? She said, was I using Bayley, planning to turn on her?
No, she was asked, were you using Bayley, planning
Right, yeah. She says, and now I'm nothing to her. Now I'm nothing. I'm useless to you. She said, I know you're watching. She says, and as I sit at the PC, the place where we built, we trained, we talked about our goals, taking the whole company over together. That's what we showed the world what we could do all summer long. And she says, when I go to the PC, when I see the girls there now, they did it all together, or me and Bayley did it all together. And if the walls of the PC could talk, they'd be telling you, if they could tell you. I'm trying to read your notes here. I'm trying to remember what it was.
Because she said the bit, because it was like kind of stream of consciousness, because she was getting emotional at this point, where it said, if the walls of the PC could talk, if they could tell you, and she kind of pauses for a bit. And she's like, Michael Cole, I came on to answer your questions. She says, I know Bayley is watching. Yeah, she's an idiot. She is naive because she's nothing without Sasha Banks. And, since Bayley thinks I'm useless, well, one day I'm going to take the SmackDown title off of you. That's when Bayley runs in, attacks Sasha from behind with the chair, wraps around her neck again, and then some trainers run in to stop the attack from proceeding further.
Yeah. We'll see if she's out for another week or not. I mean, this wasn't that bad of a beatdown, so I'm assuming the next thing we're going to get from Sasha will be action now, but we'll see. After that, we had a pretty terrific, this iteration of Sami Zayn is my absolute favorite.
Oh, it's great.
Homeless looking. He just looks like a bum. Sami doesn't use the tanning bed, obviously. He just he's pale. It's not like he went away and got jacked either. He just got scruffier, and it's fantastic. It's really good. And his in-ring stuff, it's obvious that time off, he just looks really happy. It's like when Daniel Bryan came back. He just looks really
fresh.
happy to be there. Yeah, exactly. Totally.
It's a fun match, too. I feel like this is one of those matches that if it was in front of a crowd, they would have really been into it.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude, number one, this match is going to be the best match. Well, we'll see what happens at Clash with Bayley and Nikki. That could be really good. This ladder match is going to be insanely good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it is. One thing I want to mention before we get to this about the Roman Jey Uso thing, I thought of this after watching the show. They shouldn't have that main event because, say the match starts 10 minutes before what you'd suspect is the end of the show. Then all right, it's going to be a 10-minute beatdown. I don't want that. I want to know how long it's going to be. The whole thing's got to be a mystery. If they decide Roman is going to beat the heck out of Jimmy Uso for 20 minutes because that's what's going to most effectively tell the story, then that's what I want them to do. You just kind of telegraph how long everything's going to be by having it the main event. You know what I mean?
You know what else advantage it has? We can get updates throughout the show on how bad it was.
Condition, yes.
That kind of thing always sells it. If something nasty, really bad happens mid-show, then they'll always go to updates. And it could be one of those shock moments where Cole's okay, ladies and gentlemen, that was a lot worse than we thought we were going to get.
Yeah. Jorge D says Drew and Randy should main event. Yeah, they totally should. And I assume they will.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work because, Roman is a big, big deal. So I agree with you that it should. It's just with WWE, Vince probably thinks, Roman's a thing. Roman's got a main event.
Hopefully someone get in his ear and be like, this shouldn't main event for these reasons.
I agree.
Roman is not top guy, but for these reasons, it should main event. So this match was pretty fun. Sami Zayn goes up to Greg Hamilton during his introduction and gives him crap for not introducing him as Intercontinental Champion. This allows AJ an opportunity to attack Sami from behind, gets the upper hand pretty much immediately, goes for a Styles Clash. Sami escapes that, rolls out of the ring. Some back and forth. AJ is more or less having his way until Sami boots AJ when they're rolling back of the ring, hits a DDT, gets a 2, and a lot of really good back and forth. Sami looked fresh.
Yeah.
He looked inspired.
Yeah, he did. Inspired is a great word, yeah.
In terms of how his in-ring work, there's a lot of really good stuff. That exploder he did into the corner was great.
The suplex that turned into a neck breaker for AJ was great, yeah.
The way Sami so quickly and effortlessly seemingly escaped from the calf crusher was really good. So I mentioned the exploder into the corner. Sami setting up for a haluva kick. AJ escapes that. Sami rolls him up with a handful of tights, and the ref catches him and says, I can't count now. You got a handful of tights. So he gets in the ref's face, argues, and this allows AJ to roll him up. AJ gets a handful of tights, but the ref doesn't see it. Pinfall counted. AJ wins. So after the bell, Sami clocks AJ out of the ring, gives the ref some crap saying he was holding my tights too. And then he goes to Greg Hamilton and tells him that I'm still the Intercontinental Champion. This was a non-title bout.
He said it was a non-title bout.
So Jeff Hardy runs down. He beats up AJ and Sami a bit, gets a table from under the ring, but oh no, that's not all. A ladder as well. Hits AJ with it, And then they do this bit that's pretty good. That was pretty well choreographed, where he avoids Sammy and hits both Sammy and AJ into the announce table, I believe. Puts Sammy in the ring, twist of fate, sets up a ladder, starts to climb it. Sammy rolls out of the ring to the floor. Hardy asks for a mic. He says, I'm sick and tired of this Intercontinental title situation. I'm sick of being called a cheat, tired of being called a fraud. So I'm going to challenge AJ and Sammy to a ladder match, a Clash of Champions. Pretty much exactly what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and I'm really happy about that, too.
Yes.
So after that, we got Otis and Tucky backstage. The dude rolls up to him, like he's talking about being sick and tired of this whole thing. Guy rolls up and he's like, "Here, I'm here to. Are you, Otis?" Like, "Yeah, oh yeah." He's like, yeah. "Well, you've been served. Served with what? A warm meal?
Is this a buffet?"
This is a buffet. Anyways, Tucky opens it up. Back from commercial. It turns out Miz and Morrison are suing Otis for creating an unsafe working environment. The Dirt Sheet is a news program now, and they're violating their First Amendment rights. They want Otis to forfeit the Money in the Bank briefcase, or they're going to take him to court. And Otis had dude, I can't take, obviously, I'm not supposed to take Otis seriously. I could watch his backstage skits all day long. They're hilarious to me. His face is absolutely hilarious. That being said, can't wait till they get that. Unless they don't, and they do the thing you're talking about where he just gets annihilated by Roman. But I really want to see that Money in the Bank briefcase on somebody who could legitimately cash in, because cash-ins are great.
Oh, wait. As long as Roman's on SmackDown, no one's going to cash in on Roman.
Otis might be dumb enough to do that.
Well, I mean, people will try. No one's going to successfully cash in
on
Roman.
Yeah. No, yeah.
After that, we had Baron and Sheamus backstage. They're pretty excited for the main event tonight. And then the security guard who lured Big E into Sheamus's ambush walks in. Sheamus is putting him over, saying, "Oh, you're the guy that led Big E to the ambush. And then you got any other news for me? What can I do for you?" And then the dude says, "Yeah, they're about to tow your car." And so he escorts them to the parking garage. Sheamus is upset. There's a dude standing screen left, kind of. That dude turns around. It's Big E. And then he starts laying into Sheamus. Sheamus flees, and then Big E sees the security guard, and he beats the heck out of him.
Dude, he beat the crap out of this poor guy. Holy moly!
Belly to bellies him through the windshield of a car.
Yeah, that was amazing. That was fantastic. I love it, man. They found a good way to get Big E into a serious, intense situation through action. You know what I mean? I like it. No more questions about, oh, is he going to be a silly comedy guy? No, man, he's going to beat people's asses and put them through windshields. That's great.
After that, Adam Pearce made his lone appearance for the episode, pleading.
I need you to leave the building.
Stop. Yeah, I need you to leave the building.
Leave the building.
And while Big E was taking his leave, he was yelling at Sheamus. We had another vignette for this mystery woman, Carmella. It's like we almost about to see face
of Carmella,
and then the mirror went between face and camera, so we couldn't.
I have not seen if anybody has like frame by frame, because I'm pretty sure like a good chunk of her face was.
Yeah, so I saw one picture on Twitter where it's not clearly Carmella, but it's Carmella.
I want to see that picture.
All right, I'll see if I can find it.
All right.
Start walking us through this main event then here, Steve, while I look for it.
Well, I'll look for it. You can walk us through the main event.
All right, very well. So main event, Roman, Jey Uso versus Baron and Sheamus. So Roman is the first one out. So whatever I read saying Roman was going to be the first one out was correct.
Oh, that's clearly Carmella.
Yeah. So Heyman grabs the mic, and then Roman just puts his hand out before Heyman can say a word. So Heyman gives him the mic, and Roman says, "Well, I came out first because he didn't want there to be any confusion. This is still my yard. It's my island. It's my ring. It's my WWE. And if you want it, come out here and take it from me." Then Jey Uso comes out, Baron, Sheamus. This was actually a pretty fun match.
Yeah, it was.
This kind of like simmering rivalry between Jey and Roman, where Jey is not willing to take a back seat. And it really pisses Roman off.
Yeah, I mean, from the jump, when Jey, I think he launched himself out of the ring or something like that. I mean, it's funny because of course, the cameras or TV direction was more interested in Roman's reaction to what Jey was doing than what Jey was doing.
Seeing what Jey was doing, yes.
Because the first thing we saw was like Roman was like looking at Jey like, what is he doing? And we're all wondering, yeah, what is he doing? And then all of a sudden we see the last second of what he had done, but not like the first 3 of it.
Yeah, no, I know.
But yeah, it was constantly, you're right. It was him not willing to take a backseat to Roman.
Yeah. Action all over the place. Table came into play. Jey got powerbombed through it. Roman got took a couple shots from a chair. At one point, he gets tossed over the announce table, and then he comes back by throwing an office chair at Baron. Sheamus tries to do something to him through the announce table. Roman reverses that. Samoan drop for Sheamus through the table, or on top of the table, didn't break. He ramps Corbin into the ring post, spears Sheamus through the barricade. Then Corbin comes to, decks him from behind, rams him the ring steps. Jey tries for a suicide dive to make the save on Roman, but Baron catches him, tosses him. Baron and Roman go back in the ring. Jey grabs the Universal title, hits Corbin with it. Roman spears him, and while Roman's spearing him, Jey just like gets on the top rope super quick. So as soon as Roman is done with the spear, he kind of turns around, looks up, and stands up because Jey's coming down with a splash off the top. He covers Baron to get the win, and the shot of Roman reacting to that was great.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Like a little bit of shock,
yeah,
just a little bit of anger.
But no,
that's angry quite yet.
That's a great thing, though, is that he does a lot with just a little, because most of the time he's stone-faced, and or like these days when he's doing a promo, there's like a little bit of like, I mean, there's a mad dog there, you know. Yeah. There's a bit of a scowl,
but it's not over the top. It's not over the top, though.
It never is. But when he's angry and confused, mainly confused,
it's good.
It's so subtle, but you read it. It's crazy really good. It's like the dad who's like, oh man, he's not screaming at me like my mom is, but I can tell he's pissed right now.
It's the disappointed look, which is always worse than anger.
Yeah.
So after the bell rings, Jey Uso, he goes and picks up the Universal title, looks at it, smiles at it, is about to hold it up, then pulls it down, just tosses at Roman. He's laughing. He thinks it's all funny. Roman, he smiles. They hug for a good long time.
Long time.
Based on the length of that hug, I was expecting Jey Uso to get a beatdown right then and there.
Yeah.
Because that hug was long. I didn't want him to do it. They got to wait for the pay-per-view. So Jey leaves the ring, and he's kind of walking backwards, saying, "Hey, Roman, come on." Maybe he's like, "Hey, we didn't do the steak dinner 2 weeks ago. Let's do it now."
It was so cringy because he was like, "Come on, we go this way now. Come on, let's get." And Roman's just, and he's smiling. And then as soon as Jey turns around and he knows he's not going to turn around again, and he sort of gives like the most subtle glance at Heyman, and Heyman just sort of nods, like, "Oh, this guy's gonna get murdered.
He's gonna get destroyed."
Oh man.
But they're setting it up pretty darn well. They're setting it up really well. And Jey Uso's doing a really good job of playing his part in the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's looking past the aspects of Roman that are different because it's family. He's Roman might have changed in some aspects, but he's still my family. He's putting all his trust into the fact that Roman is his family, and he's not going to betray him because they're family.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a rude awakening for Jey Uso when Roman beats the hell out of him.
It's going to be it should be horrific.
Yeah, it has to be.
Horrific.
It has to be.
They need to do the thing where they pre-film the match, and then they edit in like a dummy doll of Jey, and like Roman just starts ripping off his limbs and stuff.
Go to the top of something, toss the dummy off.
Exactly. You see
you cut to the bump of Jey just like taking the bump there from like a foot off the ground or something.
Oh man. Let's see here. Question time. Nemo. Why are the WWE so dead set on breaking up tag teams? They have broken up a lot of tag teams, men and women, lately. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, Lucha House Party apparently is next.
Yeah, seriously.
Pope plays. Any ideas of what Xavier Woods will do when he comes back? I'd love a reunion with the New Day, then possibly a singles run. I don't know how much longer he's got to rehabilitate his torn Achilles.
No idea.
I don't know. That all the stuff in that up down merch store they launched looks great though. Their merch looks really good.
Good looking stuff. Greg Morris. Was it because of his underwear? Miz was embarrassed. He literally wrestles in essentially the same amount of fabric. Yeah, dude.
It's the combination of the underwear and then the socks pulled up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the socks pulled up high.
Here's the thing with tighty whities. It's got most underwear has the pee hole, and so, a ball could hang out.
Yeah, it's true. You could get an older pair and have a little kind of some butt stain on it.
You could have some booty juice
dried
stain
pee on the front area.
Some flan.
Dang MQ, who's more delusional, Jey Uso or Sami Zayn?
Oh, it's Jey by a mile. Like, Sammy's just a little on the crazy side.
I'm going to say Sami because he has no basis to make the argument that he's the Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, sure he does. He never lost it.
Yeah,
he never vacated it. He never gave it up.
No, but he was formally stripped by the company. Jay's going on history with his cousin.
Okay, all right.
So there's a basis for him to think, oh yeah, he might have changed in some ways, but at the end of the day, he's still my cousin.
All right, that's a good point.
So I think Sammy's more delusional.
That's a good point. Rich asks, does Mark play as himself in Battlegrounds or use other characters? Of course, tonight we got a Battlegrounds commercial with The Undertaker playing his lovely young daughter, and she beat the dead man, I think, using Andre the Giant.
Interesting. Why didn't he play as himself?
He played as himself. She played as Andre.
Gotcha.
I think that's what it was.
Gotcha. Hip Hop Hippo says the hand sanitizer isn't a foreign substance right now because due to COVID, it's a workplace requirement. It's not a requirement in the ring, though.
Yeah, chairs are like, given that they're always under the ring, those are a workplace requirement too.
Kendo sticks are apparently a workplace requirement because they're always under the ring.
They're always there.
So,
Gareth says, "Wait, is it Whitey Tighties or Tidy?" I always knew it as Tidy Whities.
That's what I know it as well. Thank you for the sub, Die Hard Homer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You saw this. I still do not know why they don't just ask Full Sail to set up bleachers outside and make it like an outside stage and have all the PC people with the wrestlers that are not being used and have that for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see here. Rich, will the women's tag titles ever be won by an NXT team? Probably not, but if they do, it should be Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter. We were just talking about that on the NXT episode.
Hip Hop Hippo says, was the dude that served Otis papers the same guy who was backstage with Sasha? I don't think so. The dude who served Otis looked like Joaquin Wilde.
He did. Yeah, he did. Yeah. The guy that was with Sasha looked like a really smaller version of TJP. Let's see here. He looked like a little bit like one of the Primo or Epico guys. Let's see here. This is an interesting question here. I'll do this one. Alex Foster. You guys say Roman needs to dress it as most comfortable with his new character. If that's the case, shouldn't he just wrestle naked? So I don't sleep naked because for me, sleeping is more comfortable with a pair of underwear on, sometimes a pair of shorts.
Yeah, agreed. Sleeping naked is weird for me. So agreed. Just because you're nude doesn't mean you're at your most comfortable.
Less clothes doesn't necessarily mean
more comfort. Yeah. Especially if you're out there performing and you're naked, that can make you anxious, and then you would not be comfortable. I think hoodie with sleeves cut off and sweats is pretty much prime comfort.
Oh yeah, for sure. What about because tomorrow I'm gonna be wearing a sleeveless shirt and some sweat shorts.
Yeah, I'll just wear shorts and a t-shirt.
There you go.
I normally do.
On top of that, what if Roman is a grower, not a shower? You want to be running around out there, people think you're a micro.
Fear and Loathing on a scale of 1 to 10. How bad do we need Joseph Park as Otis's lawyer?
Man, I am so bummed out they didn't bring him back.
I know.
That is a great idea.
Yeah.
That is a great idea.
Heel Long Heavy says Roman throws Jay into the Thunderdome screens and there's an excessive amount of pyro.
That'd be good. It needs something like that.
It does. Jorge D, after Roman destroys Jey Uso, who will he go after next? What other faces are there?
I mean, dude, I don't know if Otis wins out in this whole thing. It could end up being Otis.
Maybe Jeff Hardy will lose the Intercontinental title and then have a thing with Roman.
That could be. Yeah, that could be.
I just feel like there's not a whole lot of faces on SmackDown right now.
Doesn't seem like it's going to be Matt Riddle. So piggybacking on that question. Tonight, Jey Uso and Roman took on two bad guys. This is the last time Roman's going to be fighting against bad guys for a while, isn't it?
Unless he has a match next week, yes.
Well, I mean, yeah. After Clash, he's going to be fighting good guys, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so too. Solus, theoretically, if Lesnar were to make a return now, they have this Roman brutalize him to mirror how Lesnar manhandled Roman so often in the past. Yes.
That would be we talked about this a little bit, I think, last week. It'd be kind of interesting if Roman used some of Brock's moveset.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Okay, Fruit de Loop. You two are each forced to have one wrestling match. Who do you trust to carry you to a decent match? Adam Cole. Because he did it with, what's his face?
Johnny Gargano.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Let's see here. On the Discord,
Night by Night asks, what wrestlers radiate the most disappointed dad energy? Roman. Roman does.
Yeah, because also, like, we've heard that Roman is like the locker room leader. So, like, yeah, I would hate to disappoint him. Tyler Woodward. So I was on Thunderdome, and Gulak made me do high knees. Do they have the wrestlers come to your screen and, like, entertain you for a bit?
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah, I think they do. They do. I think during, like, commercial breaks, they have wrestlers pop in and interact with people. I think I saw that.
So his question is, if you could have any wrestler be your personal trainer, who would it be and why? Sheamus. Because he does it on YouTube. And he looks amazing.
He does look really good.
He's so underrated, which how he looks amazing.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Hawks, do you guys think that the Bayley and Sasha story is at the level of Ciampa Gargano?
I think it has the potential. We just had the turn. Mm-hmm. So we got to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I don't know if... I mean, you're right. I don't know if, because in the Gargano-Ciampa feud, a crutch wasn't just a crutch. It was a metaphor.
Well, also, you didn't see it. I mean, just from the bit, you didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
It was pretty shocking.
And there's the level of storytelling in Gargano-Ciampa is not something you see in pro wrestling that often in terms of the use of metaphor and such, at least to that level.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Given what Sasha and Bayley have done...
Yeah, I'm not saying that they can't do that. I think they can. I just don't know.
It's a high bar.
It is a very high bar. And I hope they surpass it, because I think they're totally capable of it.
Dr. Steve Winters, so does Mrs. Lawsuit mean AJ and Sammy can sue Jeff? Well, I mean, anybody can sue anybody, Yeah,
I mean, take it to court, but the judge can toss it if they don't think it has merit.
They could. I just, it'd be weird if there was that many storylines going on.
Fear and Loathing, so does the security guard Larry just get his kicks by setting people up to get beat up?
He's not going to be doing that anymore.
He was just on the take, I guess.
I think he was on the take, yeah. He got a sack of doubloons.
You saw this. Roman is just going to spear him like 10 times, and that's it. Power rank the most underwhelming booking for Roman versus Uso. Yeah, like 2 spears and pin him. That would be it.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they're setting up Roman, they can't do that. They better not do that.
But what would be the rules of a friendo street fight? And you can't just say no rules. It'd be the first person to kick the other guy in the nuts wins.
All right.
It's just a race to kick the other guy in the nuts.
All right. It's a good question. I'm just trying to do something. In kayfabe, why would any wrestler have to sit and relive a beatdown they suffered via a video package?
I know. It seems like some PTSD thing. TV title Oscar. Did you guys see the Raw preview given after SmackDown? I did not.
Oh, did not. Apparently, I saw they were doing Keith Lee versus Drew McIntyre again.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, cool. Alex Foster says your boy Nigel was on 205. Really?
Oh. Enforcer. They have a draft coming soon. Still, right? Rumor was it was going to be in October. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is all the questions I have.
I think that's it too on my end.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll be there. Right at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, 10 a.m. Pacific. Join us. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson. Enjoy tons of bonus videos, including patron-only live shows, gameplay, and vintage 10 for the wins, access to podcast question threads, the Friendo Care Package, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today at patreon.com/Steve and Larson.